Right, another gardening sesh. Luckily, when our Ben was here, he wrote down all the instructions for me to do this on my own. So this is the first time I have done it on my own. So if it comes out good in the end, then it's worked. Right, onions. If we look closely, these are the fast rain 8-ounce onions from Select Seeds. Was doing well, but because of our loopy weather, if you haven't got a look closely, you can see there's a couple there going to seed. I see either too dry or too cold. I think they're going to die, so they're going to seed, but that's our loopy weather. Grapevine down the plot, one grapevine that's doing well. I've trimmed him again. Looking at all the veg nowadays, you got to look under the leaves as well, because caterpillars, once they start yomping and you miss them. Some are good, which I've been using. I did it last year. Deep clean. It's about 18 quid on eBay, but worth doing, worth getting. It works. Aphids a lot. Still quite a few people on site getting the allium leaf miner on the leeks, onions. Pruning on my orchards, I'm still doing that. Meaning if I've got new shoots going where I don't want them to go, then I'll take them off. I want to walk down either side of all my fruit trees. And that's what I'm aiming for. I'll do it in the top. I've done it in the top orchard, down the bottom. New growth on me blackberry. I use the new growth every year. You can use the old growth, but you get better fruit on new growth. As we can see there. Now we're getting a bit of sun. And it is, well, nearly end of July. Won't take long for the fruit to start turning. Hydroponic equipment from Dutch Pro, still doing well with them. Still chuffed with them. Pity nobody come down and help me set up. Never mind. Greyhound cabbage, I need some more in. I'm only doing 5. So in 5 seeds, that's all I want. Runners, that one where it did start growing from the base again. Yeah, he's going to be bunch cob, so I'm going to take him out. And once I've got a spare good one on the left, I'll move him over. Tom's in the greenhouse doing well. Mulch with straw if you've got any, that will keep the moisture in, especially this weather. Gladiolus, I've got loads now because I'm probably sowing once every week. But once these are in flower, I can move them to the patio, which is a good one. Right, compost. This is over a month old. Just to update on my composters. Getting this out now, beautiful stuff. Any worms there are in there, I'll take them out and put them in the new bin. But this is top dressing or whatever. Hardest I work on the plot, composting. Just chopping everything up Monday morning. Kitchen waste, garden waste. They go into a empty compost bag as we're all there, chopped up, ready to go in the bin. It's kitchen garden waste plus my extras. The smaller the particles, the quicker the breakdown process. Plus you've mixed it all, so the worms, bacteria, fungi, I haven't got to look for it. It is there. Compost bin in use, so look after it. Keep it more warm, keep it moist. Take the lid off, and I've got my first bit of carpet on top. You'll get nothing on top of that one, but once you lift the first carpet, there's my extra worms, and now I've got 3 carpet lids in. If you keep them carpet lids moist, that's where you get your extra worms from. So I take all the carpets out, the last one, shake them into one bit of carpet, and then I use them later on. Put them on the lid, which is on the floor when I finish. That is last week's compost, so that's what it looks like after a week. Start to break down nicely. I'm going to get me new composting what I just chopped in, throw that in. Put me worms in, me extra worms. Extra worms meaning it's going to break down quicker. Then give it a good watering. You got to keep these moist, otherwise the worms will clear off. To get extra worms, if your bin needs them, just go to a fishing tackle shop and then you get a dollop from there. This is our local one in Arzoin, and they're priced from 3 to 4 quid for a small tub, but it's worth it just to bung them in. Another way, so that's just to bung one in to show you, obviously how to get the photos. So I'll put extra worms in that way. But you can also use a worm bin. This is one out from the Urban Worm Farm. There's a few on eBay, Amazon. I've just gone both, see which is the cheapest one. But these are doing well. I'm still trialling with different bits of feed on my worm bin. That's just to show it if you don't get your worms. But once the carpet lids go back on top, I'll then water the first lid. Second lid goes on as well and water that one, meaning if there's moisture between the two bits of carpet, that's where you get your extra worms. It's an ideal breeding ground, but they've got to stay moist, them carpets. Obviously the worms will stay there if they dry out. Lid back on, ready for next week. You've got to have air ventilation, especially this weather now. If you can just notice there, the lid is off. This is a new compost bin, somebody on our site. Obviously it's going to work, but it's going to take yonks because there's too much air getting in. You have got to have air in, but not that much. My glad is now going away nicely, and the flowers up the garden. What have I got up there? Alstroemeria, lupin, just finished, morning star lilies, and we finished hydrangeas, Hollandia, crocosea, delphiniums. Right, back on the plot. A couple of cabbages need picking, so I'm going to get one anyway. So I've chopped him off. These are for me mate, which we're going to go down to later on. I've done this a few times. If you don't need the space where you took the cabbage off, or any brassica, just put a cross in him and he's got to survive. So he will start throwing shoots again. Same with the collie. So I've got my cabbage up, my collie, and I need these for my sponsor down Woodcraft. Got him a good dollop of strawberries as well. I've got about 4 trays of strawberries off now. Kept one myself, give the rest away. So cabbage, collie and straws, took them down to my mate. Although we ain't got a show, I had the money off our sponsors earlier on, so I've got to feed him throughout the growing season. Red currants, chuffed with them. These are the 3 up top of the garden. I've got 1 on the plot as well. Obviously, because they're new plants in this year, help them out, help them out to get established. I don't want them having a check-in growth. Orchids, got a new little chap coming out from the bottom, so I've clipped him up, telling him where I want him to go, i.e. upright. Feed once a week, plus the feed I'm using, I put a bit on a tissue and then I wipe the leaves. It is exactly the same as getting a foliar feed. Another collie, these are corkers. They obviously come all the same time, that's why I only do about 4 or 5 maximum. But blanching, 3 minutes blanch, and then you have to plunge them in ice cold water before you freeze them. But love them. Cheese sauce. Another 2 I had to get up. But we'll come on to that. Here we are. Look at them. If I'd got a show, I could have bunged them in our show. Pity we ain't got a show this year. Right, compost tea, love it. If you don't make good compost, you can buy the brews in, compost tea brews. But this is one of the best feeds you will get. It's got to be aerated, air brick underneath, giving oxygen to the mixture or the compost. 24 to 48 hours, and then once it's finished you can use it as a drench feed or as a foliar feed. And that's 10:1 ratio with rain water, not tap water. And obviously when the sun's gone off it, mist, spray, everything. It is beautiful stuff. Best feed you can get. If you go, I spray everything. Top of the garden, greenhouse, on the plot, the lot, all orchards, everything. I've got anything left after Then I drench feed the stuff that I want to look after first. But everything gets it, and it works. Gladdies, these are weekly sowings now. Bit of paper in the bottom of the pot. Bung some compost in. I might be running out of pots soon, this decent size. Vermiculite underneath, help drainage. And bung that in line. Went to see my alpacas and my llamas during the week. I knew it was going to be a dry day, so I went and see them chaps. Got their dung off them. Luckily the chap's got his own scoop and scraper. Washed and stuff. This is nice and weak there, Manure. They've all had a haircut like me. Bloody hell, my hair look like that, I know. It's just coming back now, luckily. Look at that, beautiful. You can put this on straight away. There's no, it's not too strong or nothing, like everything, like most mucks. This is superb. Right, something we've put on the Facebook. There's a group I'm in, Southwest Giant Veg, Giant and Show Veg. Plus we incorporate with a Northeast Giant and Show Veg. I'm just doing a virtual show. So if anybody's interested, and you fancy a go, anybody can go in. There's also a class for the kids as well. Right, on the plot, this is my Globo 8-ounce onions. Once these get to 10 inches round, then they will come up. That will get your weight to around 8 ounce or 8.8, which I'm after. So I've lifted him, you can see where I've lifted him and just placed him on top. So he ain't going to grow anymore, just start drying out. Aquilegia, love them. This little chap's got the tails on the back end on it. Looking at them sideways, of course. But so far, this is the best one. Flower wise, look at him straight on. There's I couldn't remember putting these in, but we've got quite a few still to open up on the garden. Right, the bleeding heart we can just about make out on the left. It needs taken out now, give the chance for everything else to grow, which is underneath. So I've took him out, a bit more weeding because I can see him. There ain't many in, because you only get weeds normally when you dig. Only weeds that are airborne. Right, starting to pick some more strawberries to do some jam. So I've got a pound of them off. Pound of fruit, same weight as a pound of jam sugar. Couldn't get no jam sugar anywhere. Everybody's sold out, even eBay. So I'll bloody get them. Armageddon chilies. I've got two have turned orange completely. So when we're now bought it from Shinnars down Colligate Sunday night, I'll get him them to try them on them. See what he says next week, if that was any good or not. Right, these canna lily. This was a $5 from down Lidl. I got some in, but when I saw the colour list, I thought I'd have one of them. I've got 3, which if you look closer, just started coming through. These were put in a couple of years ago. But this one, when I got him out of the pot, it's completely root bound. I thought, well, I'm going to plant him in the pot. I'm going to pot him on first. If I plant him in the pot, then I can get him out over winter, so he don't freeze. So a bit of compost, good compost, and potted him on, so he's got a bit of root to go through. Want the root stay in the pot, not going through the holes. Bit of drainage. I've looked up and they like the drainage, so a bit of drainage in the bottom before I put the pot in. Nice watering, settle the chap in, and then put a bit of wood chip round him, whatever. Stop him drying out and look after him. And there we are, he's well away. Next thing to do is get all them poppies out, them yellow ones, hold them out all together. That's pruned me grapevine, the one that's still going anyway, in the tunnel. Good job there's no show this year, got no grapes on that one. All the grapes are on the outside one. There's my new growth on the grape that I'd cut off. It was got nothing on him whatsoever. Still tying up my black currant. I want him to grow up, not out. You know, he's pruned well that's a bird's eye view, so you can see that I've got ventilation around everything. There's nothing too close to each other, and it is working well. These are my long legs. This is just for length, a little competition, so I'm giving them a boost, which is super feed. With our hot weather, greenhouse tunnel a lot. If you've got time, just water the pathways or around the growing medium. Right, there's 2 beans on the left hand cane, so I'm going to unravel the one and throw him on the spare cane on the right, which I've done there. I'll take that weak run the bean out, that day work. So I'm still getting my beans. Raspberries are going haywire, meaning they need tying up. Exactly the same as then, look after them. Don't forget you're going to get round either side. Cabbages come through this weather, don't take long. These are my Greyhound spring cabbage. So there's only 5 there, giving a good watering. In fact, these have got the first true leaves on now. Them are the seed leaves, as you can see there. Next lot of Gladiolus to go out. This is a good dollop, meaning they're going out on the raised bed down the plot. Looking at these, I thought, God, Bennett, never had this before. There's only 1 tray, so I get them a jet spray, all of them, knocked all the aphids off. Nice and clean, so I'm going to put them out. All I can think of it was too damp or something. No, I've never had that problem before. Cover off. Space them out again where I've got them, with 2 lines in, holes out, vermiculite in each hole, and then bung them in. 1 shoot. There's any new shoots on the sides, we can see there, I take them off with my nail. Once 1 row's out, the other 2 lines are put out, and they are put out the same length as me other chaps. All put out, all fill back in with the compost or growing medium, which is on the raised bed. Then I top dress it with rabbit muck. That's the only muck I've got at the moment. I'll get 75 corms in this bed plus a date when I put them in, and the cover's got a sea on. Good soaking so the wind don't take it off, and that's just gives me 1 more bed left on the left for me Gladiolus. Tying these up, that's 1 photo of this outer cock. There we are, that looks better, all tied up. So the first photo, see ya. If that's my only cock up, I'm gonna moan. Right, this is about 4 days ago. Blackberries started going red. And then yesterday, I started going black. These are corkers, taste wise. They asked me the brew. Used to be black butt, I can't remember what they are now. But these are doing well as well. The black currants, I'll give them a good feed like everything else. You've still got to feed. But very soon, I was going to say I'll make some jam as well, but I can't get no sugar. So it might be, if I get hoard on them, might be some wine. Father's Day, off our lads. Got some dry cider. There's my little chap for slowly getting into my flowers when you get a dead bloom, dead head in everything. The good thing about the roses with this one, Dave Austin, because I'm scented. Once I've cut him off, I'll then put the petals in a saucer because they've still got the scent on them. Just put them in your living room. Delphinium, that's the one that's he's still flowering obviously, but he's gone past his best. And this is my new one, Saltman up. These are 2 what we bought last year. I forget the name on him. Somebody might tell me, or but he's a corker when he's fully out. He's beautiful. Beautiful red, nice little white inner. I've sent some of these seeds to my mate in the States. I hope he does well with them and all. Right, longest day, time to get my shallots up. Exhibition shallots and pickled shallots. And fork underneath. And lift them. These was thinned down to 3 per dollop a while back. Don't look too bad, good, nice drop of meat on them, but these are undercover and they've got to dry out, so I've got air ventilation and rain ain't going to get onto them. Right, blanch and intermediate leeks are next. The collars come off here on an evening, so they've got air movement during the overnight. I'm still feeding with chem pack number 2 up until the end of July, when it should be number 8. I take all the old skins off right down to the root, so all the skins come off, give me a nice clean root plate. Looking nice and straight, which is what I want. That's why the cane's up there. These are then earthed up back. The growing medium is put around the leek again. Now my blanch collars, which are on the middle, then going from 17 inch down to 20 inch. So I'm putting them all the way around, which is the longest 20 inch. I.e. to get meat going up higher. Give me another 2 inches. Collars back on, straw back round it. And the intermediates, which are on the front. If you see them pipe lagging I used on the front, I've made collars now, 10 inch collars for the intermediates. Velcro to go around to keep them nice and tight onto the leek. Well, not that tight, but all earthed up, all watered, all straight. And do me to it again, get the papers in the morning. See this worm dried up, dry as a fart, limpless.
Got you.
So I
Good deed
spat on the chap, breathed on him.
Oh, good life,
This
boy.
is coming out, is it? Yes. I put this on, I don't know whether it would come out or not, but I brought him back to life and put him back on the grass. So that's my good deed for the day. That's when you have shaft. This was a dry. This was a still photo put on in case the video don't come out. Right, the missus wants the border at the bottom as well, bottom of the lawn, because we've got no grandkids or whatever. We don't need the lawn really. So I put my line in, and I'm getting another border out. Don't want this border too wide because there won't be no high stuff. It'll just be the low stuff in. Spades width, or just over. The bin men can have this Thursday. But I'm getting these out. Tufts is probably about 1.5 inches, and then I just fork over. This is what it's like now, and I'll just get the roots out, and then top up with a decent growing medium. Because of our loopy weather, hot, cold, and whatever, there's loads of people having stuff bolt, i.e. going to seed, because I think they're going to die. And I've got a sprout going to seed as well. God knows why he is, and not the rest of them. Whether the coals him on the end, don't know. Is that me Orlando? I think Orlando. Oleander, I think he's called. But he's just coming into flower, nice, and trying different feeds with me little worm bin. If you've got grandkids, they'd love something like this. Just get them involved. Give it put me little powder in. Give it a spray. My spray, obviously, it's got to be damp, moist, and then put me dry bedding on top, which is ripped up loo rolls, kitchen rolls, and my shredded paper, and bubble the lid back on. Chilies still doing well down the plot, well, chilies anyway. The sun's off them. Give them my spray underneath to help pollination. And watering in the greenhouse when especially the last couple of days here. Tomorrow's got to be hotter. Just wet everything down. This is looking a bit better now. I've weeded, took all the rubbish out, i.e. the yellow poppies, and you can see my watering can on the left with the member, whatever them bloody called things, them nice flowers. There we are. That'll look nice when it comes out. But that'll break up that corner, unless the missus wants it somewhere else. We'll see later on. First flowers on my spuds down the plot. That tells me to start looking another week, 10 days. And as soon as the tails is big enough, I'll take them off. Just the spuds. Anything in pot water this weather. All my blueberries. 2, 4, 6. 6 down the plot one at a time. Make sure you feed.